Time sequence plots, also known as time series plots, they show the data in the order in which they were recorded. For example, coal consumption in the US. So I have here the year versus the coal consumption in quads. A quad is the unit of energy. So to do this, I have to put in both lists. Okay, so I have to go into the Stat menu, so press the Stat button. And then under Edit, choose Edit, choice number 1. Clear out something that's already in there. So highlight the name of the list, then press Clear, then press Enter. So list number 1. List number 1, I'll let that represent the number of years from 1970. So in 1970, I'll let that be 0, because in 1970 we're 0 years removed from 1970. 1975 will be 5, and then 1980 will be 10, and then 1985 will be 15, and then 1988 will be 18. So that's the first list. That will represent the x-axis of my scatter plot, and then the y-axis will be coal consumption. So the first figure that you saw was 12.28 in 1970, and then 12.62 in 75, and then 15.43 in 1980, and then 17.46 in 1985, and then 18.78 in 1988. Okay, so there you have it. I put in the data, the X data and the Y data. X as list 1, Y as list 2. So then quit out of this by pressing second and then quit. So if you go into Stat plot, you have to press the second button and then the Y is equal to. I'll let that be plot number 1. So you see how it's highlighting number 1, press enter. Okay, turn it on if it's not already on, and then type. Okay, the first choice where you see the cursor flashing, that's the scatter plot, so press enter. And then the X list, that's list 1, which I already have here. The Y list, I'll let that be list number 2, so you have to press the second button, and then the number 2 to call up list 2. Okay, the mark, I'll use a plus sign for that. And then color, blue. Okay, so press enter. And now graph it. So press the graph button. And I think the axes are all messed up. So let me change the axes on this. Go under window. X minimum, let's leave that as 0. And then X maximum, I'll make that 20 because that'll take me to 1990. And then X scale, I'll make that, leave that as 5. Y minimum 0. Y maximum. My greatest value for coal consumption was 18.78, so I'll make this 20. And then Y scale, how far apart to make the tick marks, I'll make them 5. Okay, now press graph again, and it should create a scatter plot, which is what you see here. Now if you press the trace button, you see as the cursor moves, it'll tell you what point you're on. So right now I'm at the point 0, 12.28. Now I'm on the point 5, 12.62. etc. So that is a simple scatter plot that I can create in the TI-84 calculator.